Hey, it's Alex. Today I'll be showing you some interesting and important Bitcoin trends visually through graphs. In this video, you'll see the Bitcoin trends over the past 10 years, including the price of Bitcoin, the amount of Bitcoin still out there ready to be mined, the amount of revenue that you receive as a Bitcoin miner, and some other interesting stats like that. So let's jump right into it. I'm getting all this data from a site called Kaggle.com. They have open data sets, and I'm using two of theirs. Here we have the Bitcoin cash price, which shows the date and the open and close values of Bitcoin throughout the day, the highs and lows, as well as the volume and the market cap. The next data set I'll be using is this Bitcoin data set. And this has the date as well as a lot more interesting features that we can see on that date. We have the market price, we have the total amount of Bitcoins out there, we have the market cap, trade volume, and like miners' revenue, some transaction fees, and so much really cool stats here. And you might be saying to yourself, okay, I've got all this cool data, it's free, it's open, then I have what I need to make my own predictions or do whatever I want. But it can be really hard to interpret this with just numbers in a grid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to visualize this through a statistical programming language called R. So let's start that. Here's the R code I've written to help us visualize these two data sets that I showed you earlier. First, I'm reading in the first data set. And as you can see here, this is the one with the highs and lows. Next, I'm doing some formatting. And here's a graph. Let's make this bigger so you can see it. This is the price in US dollars that Bitcoin has been back since 2013. So let's look at this a little closer. In July of 2013, you could buy a Bitcoin for $95. And now, as we can see, we're up to the multiple thousands of dollars for Bitcoin. December 11th of 2017, last year, Bitcoin is $15,000. And you could buy it for 100 5 years ago. This is absolutely insane. This is Mount Everest right here. You can see that starting in mid of 2017, this is where Bitcoin really started to take off and take that exponential growth. We see that it was about $3,000 here in June, and just a few months later, we're already up to 15,000 territory. The first initial spike of Bitcoin price was here in around November of 2015. And we see it was about $200 here, and then it spiked up pretty fast to about 1,000. So this was the first real growth of Bitcoin. And then it sort of maintained that steady valuation, and then it started to grow up a little bit from 2016 to 2017, and then 2017 to 2018 is when it's really skyrocketing. So let's see what other interesting stuff we can find out about this. So now I'm going to read in the second data set, which has all that interesting information in there. And you can see this is the more statsy version. And to start off, I'm going to show the exact same chart as we did before, except with this data set, to show you the year difference in the data. So let's make this bigger. And we see we have years 2010 to 2017 now. This is up until November 2017, rather than the other one being till January 2018. And as you can see here, oh my gosh, this is just crazy. This is why I love visualization, because you can easily see all this stuff. Back in 2011, you could buy Bitcoin for 76 cents. Imagine it. Oh my god. Dude, that is ridiculous. And we even see an initial spike here. It was a steady few cents, and then it grew up to about $26. And then this is the real initial spike to that $100, $200 range back in 2013. And if you really want to take a step back and soak this in for yourself, please just pause the video at any one of these charts, and you can really just look at it and appreciate it. So let's go on to the next plot I've made. This one is the Bitcoin market cap throughout the years. So let's plot that. Open in a new window. And so we can see that back back around when it was kind of becoming a little more popular in 2013, the Bitcoin market cap was about $1 billion. And 1 year later, the market cap was about $10 billion. And it stayed around there, sort of went back down to $5 billion. And now in 2017, we're at a market cap of $14 billion in Bitcoin. And now, you can see for yourself, we're all the way up to a $118 billion market cap for Bitcoin. Let's look at the next chart I made. This one is about the Bitcoins that have already been mined. This is interesting. Oh, this is one of my most favorite ones of these charts because it really puts into perspective on how many Bitcoins are still out there. So back in 2010, there have been about 1.6 million Bitcoins mined. And over time, we're mining more and more Bitcoins, and which means that there's less and less out there. So in February of 2017, there's 16 million Bitcoins mined. And you can see that it's sort of has this shape where it's about to flatten off because there are only so many Bitcoins out there. So right now it's a little harder to find Bitcoins because there are already so many that are already mined. The slope at the top is more horizontal, which means that there are less Bitcoins mined per time spent mining. Next one we have, what's this next one? The miner revenue. This is pretty cool. This is let me see the official description of it. Miner revenue. The total value of Coinbase block rewards and transaction fees paid to miners. Okay, so let's look at this. For example, $110,000 were rewards to miners of Bitcoin. Total. This must be total. So we move up to 2012, it's a little less. 2013, about the same. 2014, a huge spike. And suddenly we're paying out 3.8 million in Bitcoin rewards. Go up until 2017 when the Bitcoin prices skyrocket and we see like 14 million, 16 million in rewards for Bitcoin miners. And we can look a little more in depth at this and we see that, yeah, we're hovering around 14 million back in November of 2017, a couple months ago. So I could imagine that as Bitcoin prices raise, the amount of rewards for miners increases. This next plot we have is the Bitcoin number of transactions per day. Let's look at this. Let's read what this is all about. This is the number of daily confirmed Bitcoin transactions. So let's take a look at this. This means that now, in November of 2017, a few months ago, 341,000 Bitcoin transactions are happening every single day. So Bitcoin is very lit at the moment. We can take a closer look here and see that, yep, as the prices are really, really high for Bitcoin, there are a lot of transactions going on because it's very hyped at the moment. Back when it wasn't very popular, we see about 10,000 to 6,000 transactions per day. And really you can see the correlations in this. There are more daily Bitcoin transactions as Bitcoin becomes more popular. Bitcoin is so popular because it's a very established cryptocurrency that is new and attention grabbing. And again, if I'm going too fast with any of this, you can really soak it in by just pausing the video, looking at the X and Y axis, and comparing the graphs throughout the video. Okay, I've got a few more here. This is the Bitcoin transactions per block. Let's check this out. The Bitcoin transactions per block column describes the average number of transactions per block. So currently there are about, 2,000 Bitcoin transactions per block out there. Also pretty interesting, there were less transactions per block back when the price was lower, but this could also be because there were less Bitcoins out there. and it was less popular. And the final plot I've made for you guys is the difficulty to mine of a Bitcoin. This I thought was really cool. Open this up. Let me show you what the description of this is. Where is it? Difficulty. A relative measure of how difficult it is to find a new block. So I'm not sure what these units are. On the y-axis you'll see a T. Not sure what that is, but you can just see, I'm assuming that the higher the T value, the more difficult it is to find a block. So as you can see, back in 2013 and back to 2010 even, it was super easy to find a block for Bitcoins. Super easy. And back in 2014 and 2016, we start to see an upward trend where there's more attention around Bitcoin. And now in 2017, you can really see that it's a lot harder to find a new block. Up to 1.4 Ts, whatever that means. So I really hope that being able to visualize this data and see the trends yourself can help you sort of predict what's going to happen in the future by sort of finishing the plot. Plus, I hope you just get a better sense of what's happening out there, what's Bitcoin has been looking like over the past decade. This is a very important ability to have, is to visualize what's been going on. So again, here's the market prices. We have some more market prices even back to 2010. The market cap, the Bitcoins that have already been mined, the transaction fees and block rewards to miners, daily Bitcoin transactions, and the transactions per block, and ending with the difficulty to find a new block. So again, I got this data from a place called Kaggle.com. They have open data sets, and I thought this one might be interesting and I might be able to teach you guys something through this visualization. If this helped you, or if you want to see me do more of this for, like, I don't know, Ethereum, or really just any data, like learn anything from any open data set, please let me know and I will gladly visualize that for you, so we can learn something together. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, as I'm just starting off on YouTube. It really helps me out a lot. This is my first one of these data visualization videos, but I'm really hoping that I can teach you guys something that not a lot of other places offer through visualization. So what do you want me to visualize next? I'm happy to visualize anything for you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.